This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
Today in McDonaldland News, Mount McDonaldland is experiencing thick volcanic shake activity. So try the new Mount McDonaldland shake when you order the McDonaldland meal with your very own character souvenir kit.
A McDonald's in McDonaldland. Get the McDonaldland meal in McDonaldland.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, have you heard about this Catherine of Aragon course that we have coming up? It's called Forging a Queen, and it is led by none other than our own Dr. Emma. Emma, are you excited about this course?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because this is my field of expertise. Catherine of Aragon's childhood is where I started my research, is where I go back with the biggest joy in many ways and respects, because it's exploring also my own roots, my own Spanish roots and the history of my country. So I want to bring this to you. And I've thought a lot about it. It's not only going to be about the history. I'm going to bring in a lot of stuff, a lot of tricks about traveling to Spain, the culture, because Spain is such a unique and amazing country, but also because Catherine traveled all around it. Maybe people don't know that. We tend to think, we see documentaries on Catherine of Aragon, she's always in Granada. Or no, she was all around. She saw the Iberian Peninsula change dramatically. So that's what this course is going to be about. The forging of a queen and forging of a country, really.
Yeah.
Because this is the time Spain is born, too.
And you're going to be looking at some primary contemporary sources, too, aren't you?
Yes, I don't know how many times I've looked at these, but for the first time with you guys. And it's very cool documents, very cool evidence, but also I wanted to bring a lot of the art history. I'm an art historian, so we'll talk a lot about architecture. We'll talk a lot about objects and things, amazing things that you can go and make your own Catherine of Aragon trip to Spain, or Isabel of Castile, or Fernando of Aragon, because it's going to be heavy also in Isabel and Fernando. And this is I did a master's in Spanish Empire, so this is my alley. So I'm very comfortable. So if you think usually I know what I'm saying, I really know what I'm saying now with this course.
Yes, I'm so excited for this course. It starts September 17th. Tickets are on sale, or September 17th. Tickets are on sale until September 16th. If you're interested and want to learn more about this amazing Forging a Queen course, there will be a link in the show notes, which is also the podcast description if you're not aware that that's what we call it.
The themes look at the themes. I've selected them based on, it's not just chronological, it's more things that I think that you guys will really enjoy and they're really important. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, hope to see you there.
Yes.
You're listening to Dr. Emma and me on the Tudors Dynasty and Beyond podcast. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm Rebecca Larson and it's Thursday. So that means it's time to welcome my co-host, Dr. Emma, to Dr. Emma and me. Welcome.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I am so
You got the memo about the top?
I think you got the memo about the top.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Let's not forget you are 7 hours ahead of me. So technically I got the memo from you.
That's right.
Yes. So, I introduce the show every Thursday and I welcome Dr. Emma. And for some reason, I still feel the need to say it's Dr. Emma and me, even though I just said it and I said it again. Welcome.
Welcome to Dr. Emma and me.
Yeah. You know what? I want to talk about last week because last week we talked about Lavina Tierlink and Susanna Hornboot, hornbout, however you want to say it. And at the beginning of the episode, we talked a lot about how some people said we talk too much.
We were a bit haters last week, I think.
We were. I think we both watched it back and we were like, ooh, okay, maybe.
You need to have tougher skin, Rebecca.
You know what? Some days I have it, other days I don't. But I
know.
just want to say that our fan base came to our defense, which made me very happy. Lots of people. Let's see. Lori said, she said she enjoyed hearing about those two women in history. And she said, and always loved the chit chat too. People enjoy us.
Good. Good. I'm finally grateful for the internet and finding people around the world that want to listen to my crap.
I think for even though before we hit record, we chat and we catch up a little bit. So keep that in mind when we hit record and we're still catching up. It's just for your benefit.
Our benefit too, because people like us need to talk.
We do, we're both kind of like entrepreneurs who work alone all the time. And sometimes we just need the company of another human being.
I've never been called an entrepreneur. I love it.
Yeah, well, you are, aren't you? I mean, you are.
I need to add it to my CV. Let's see. Resume, as they say in America. Yeah. Entrepreneur.
Now, do you need help spelling that?
Probably. No,
I'm
I
just
can
kidding.
Speak some French. I can speak some French. Entrepreneur. That's the original. Oh my goodness, sorry. Did you hit record already?
This is a great start.
This is usually how our conversations go in private.
Yeah.
I just do some accent, Rebecca laughs. I do it again because I'm just like one of those people. Oh, you like that? Wait until you hear this other one.
Yeah. Emma is constantly my entertainment. If I need a pick me up, I just reach out to Emma and she makes me laugh quickly.
Yeah. And then Rebecca knows how to calm me down when I'm, going overboard with my big personality. Let's just leave it there.
We worked well together, don't we? I think we balance each other out, which is good.
And we entertain each other. Rebecca's really funny too.
Aww.
She's not very good at the accents, though.
No,
she needs to work on her accents.
The accents are my weakness. What do they say? What's the saying? It's my Achilles heel. I cannot accents.
Achilles tendon.
Yeah. Well, I think the saying is it's my Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Meaning the same thing.
Heel.
But yeah.
In Spanish, it's tendón de Aquiles, like the tendon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Achilles heel in English.
Well, I think it's just a say. Maybe I'm wrong on how that saying goes. I think
you know where that comes from. Do you?
From the Romans.
From the time of yore. So Achilles was a semi-god.
Yeah.
Born from Zeus, and I can't remember his mom's name. But how does it go? He is bathed in this lake. I can't remember the name of the lake either. This is why I usually prepare these stories and not just and she's grabbing him by that heel.
Oh.
And that lake makes him invincible, immortal, right? So his whole body is immortal and invincible except for that foot
Interesting.
And that's where he gets shot with an arrow and dies. Sorry, Achilles.
His one weak spot.
Yes. And it's Greek. Usually the Romans were the ones to copy everything from the Greeks.
Those Romans, man.
I know.
That's interesting. Well, I feel like our topic
We are going to talk about the Romans today.
We are. Before we get into that, though, I want to go back to something that you saw online because
oh my goodness, that was so funny.
We like to laugh on this show. You all know how much we like to laugh, and we've had Alejandro on this show a couple times. And why don't you tell the story? Because I thought this was
it's
great.
Just because that was just an hour ago. We had the episode on Rubens and Velázquez, and we brought up a certain group of turtles called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And somebody said very funnily today that as much as Alejandro knows about Rubens, he wasn't very, attuned with the Ninja Turtles. So the joke is still going with the Ninja Turtles. We're gonna have to do parallel live Ninja Turtles. Oh
Yeah.
wait, that kind of works.
Well,
See how I'm a genius in disguise. It's
genius.
in disguise.
In deep disguise.
Yeah, in deep disguise. I don't even know it. I'm so disguised.
I don't even know it. Yeah, I just thought that was cute. And he had such a good sense of humor about it, too. He thought it was funny, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yes. I'm sure he has catched up and he's been watching some Ninja Turtles. I don't have a doubt.
Well, if he's watching right now, hi.
Which is your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Everyone.
I know for a fact that millennials, that's kind of our time zone for the Ninja Turtles. I've always said I'm in my 40s, so some of my friends, we've taken them down rabbit holes. They're rewatching the Ninja Turtles, so and it's good because then you do get familiarized with very famous Renaissance artists, and that's how you spark curiosity in kids sometimes,
Yeah,
because they love a show. And you think about it at the time, I've given a lot of thought to the Ninja Turtles lately. It was very innovative kind of show too, So the fact that they were turtles, but ninja, but had names of artists, who was a genius who wrote this?
right. And they could speak English.
They speak English. Yes.
Yeah.
They live in the sewers. They're just amazing.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles. Anyway, speaking of topics that influence us, let's move on.
They're never going to leave us. We're going to have to do mugs. We're going to have to do T-shirts.
We're going to have to start licensing Ninja Turtle stuff.
Ninja Turtles dressed as Henry VIII.
Oh my God.
Okay, enough. This is why people tell us all.
Yeah. We get sidetracked. Okay. So last episode, we teased what this episode was going to be about. And it really was inspired by our episode with Carol Levin when she brought up Boudicca, because it was
our guests are the best. They bring up, amazing stories.
Guest.
Oh, we're going to go down another rabbit hole? That was one of my favorite movies.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast?
Yes, because Celine Dion sang the main theme, and I've always been a huge fan of Celine. Like people say, I had a poster of so-and-so. I had a poster of Celine Dion in my room. She's the best singer in the 90s.
My God. You guys, I'm so sorry.
Yes. No, why? For liking Celine Dion? Come on, Rebecca. Like her too.
For taking us down a different road again, because I started singing. Okay, so anyway, Boudicca.
And
Urraca.
Muy bien. Urraca, the first of Leon. Leon is a kingdom in those kingdoms in the Iberian Peninsula. One of the earliest ones, to one of the earliest Christian kingdoms. We'll talk a bit about that. Because really, Urraca, I love it because it's so that Spanish ra, right?
Yeah.
Urraca and Boudicca they don't live at the same time. There's a 1,000 years between them, literally.
Wow.
Yes, because Boudicca is from the Roman times.
Yeah, which is way back.
Way back. I thought of a song, but I'm going to sing it. Just no more tangents, Emma. But yeah, she's from the time of Emperor Nero, and we all heard of Nero, right?
Yeah.
And we know Kenny wasn't a very cool dude. He's a very Henry VIII character, isn't he, Nero?
I feel like I don't know anything about the Romans. I'm really ashamed to say that. I mean, I recognize the name Nero, but that's about as far as it goes.
Well, he wasn't a very nice guy, Rebecca. Nero was the one. I mean, Rome burned because of Nero, and he was like, "Well, who cares?" He was thought to be crazy, a tyrant, and all these things. because of this, probably during his lifetime, there was a lot of uprisings in the Roman Empire. And we have to remember that the Roman Empire was huge, okay? Because it went from Syria and Armenia to England and Wales and all the way up to the border with Scotland.
Wow. So it
All
was
the
huge.
Iberian Peninsula, everything. So north of Africa, all of Europe, really, and north of Africa, and the Near East. So huge empire.
Wow.
And then at the time of Nero, which is in the and well, really when the uprising of Boudicca starts is in 60 AD. So this is also a very famous time. For obvious reasons. Jesus and all the Julius Caesar, Cleopatra. There's a 2 centuries there where everything's very famous, I think, right? Because then the Roman Empire goes on for some more time, and those are not as known. We are right at the time where of the height of the Roman Empire, but also it's getting so big that there's starting to be problems, especially with an emperor that is not a very good ruler, right? So Boudicca is part of a Celtic tribe. So the Celts, before the Romans arrived, and this is what I love that Spain and England have is the same. The Celts were also in Spain, right?
Oh.
Yeah, in the north of Spain, in Portugal. So the Celtic culture is prehistoric. And why we call them prehistoric is we don't have a lot of written evidence that they wrote, right? So most of what we know about the Celts was written by the Romans, right? So 40 years prior to Boudicca was really the conquest of England by the Romans at a very similar time of the conquest of Spain, of the Iberian Peninsula. So the Romans expanded obviously from Rome to the Italic Peninsula and beyond. And then by the time they're reaching, the Iberian Peninsula and England, it's around this time. And after more or less 40 years of the conquest of England, there's a big uprising. And I mean, there's been uprisings in all types of empires throughout history, but in this case, it was a woman who led this. In Celtic culture, women had bigger roles than in other cultures. And this is another thing that is similar to Urraca, because Urraca comes from the north of Spain, from the same tradition, a Celtic tradition that has translated into a tradition where there's no equality. Let's not think that women are treated equally. But yes, women have certain rights and are not prohibited to inherit and rule.
Yeah, I
right?
think
So
that's what surprised me.
Yeah, it's preferably a man always, and will do whatever it takes. But a woman can inherit, and usually can inherit. But there's problems because usually they inherit and transmit that to their sons, right? Like in the case of we'll have to do Maud at some point, in Parallel Lives. We all know Maud's story and how that was very tricky and all that. So Boudicca and Urraca come from the same tradition in that sense, right? Territories where traditionally women have had a bigger role, not an equal role, a bigger role than in others. It's not, women have had the opportunity, if needed, to be ruling, right? In the case of Boudicca, she is married to the king, I had to write this down, Prosciuticus. I'm like, Prosciuticus sounds like a dry meat, but anyway.
It does.
Prosciuticus, I love it. And Prosciuticus had his kingdom in East Anglia. And when I read that, I was like, East Anglia was also the place where Mary Tudor, Mary the First of England, had all of her lands. Because I've heard Peter Stifel talk a lot about this. And that's where she proclaimed herself Queen of England in 1553.
Oh.
So connections between Boudicca and Mary the First of England, who is the first woman to rule in her own right in England, right? The name Boudicca, they think it comes from Buddha or victory, and so she was kind of like predestined to be famous. And Prasudicus had two daughters. So in Celtic tradition, wasn't against that women could inherit, but when Prasudicus dies, instead of leaving it to his two daughters, what he does too is he leaves the Roman emperor as his heir too. So, kind of to protect, probably because he was given money, a way to keep a bit more time independence, but really just giving in to the Romans. Because, well, the Romans were. So when this happens, the person sent to England to enforce this is like, it's only the emperor, because in Roman law, the women can't inherit.
Mm.
So he takes away the right of Boudicca's daughters. And that's when Boudicca's like, Mama Bear is around, okay?
Yeah.
Mama Bear is around, and she's not going to allow that. And she is chosen to be the leader of this uprising against the Romans that has a very tragic ending, but is successful for some time. So it's very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I've heard her name,
Mm-hmm.
Boudicca, before. I think when I was in England, there was a statue of her somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
There's
in
several, there's
London.
many, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she's a huge part of their history. And it
Uh-huh.
just blows my mind that we're going as far back as would you say 69 AD?
Yeah, 60 AD, yeah.
Yeah, like that's mind blowing to me that there was
Well,
a female leading people at that time.
yeah. Yeah, it's incredible that especially she was elected to take them to this revolt. And also, I think it's the reason why I am Carol brought Boudica up is because Elizabeth the First identifies with Boudica because she's seen as a symbol against foreign interference in England, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she is a symbol of standing against the foreign aggressor, like the Romans, right?
Hmm.
So Elizabeth uses this image because of this bringing back the classical culture in the Renaissance. Boudicca is started to be mentioned in the Chronicles of England in the 16th century. Hollisant mentions her.
Really?
Uh-huh. And that's why she becomes known as a famous person in the past, English past, right?
Hmm.
Which is perfect timing when you have a queen who's a woman, right? Because Elizabeth is like, sure, but put her in there. Great that you put her in there because now I have an example. Very difficult for someone like Elizabeth to find an example that wasn't her sister who had ruled before her.
Yeah.
But she didn't use her a lot for obvious reasons, right? Because she was trying to step away from the Catholic reign of Mary and Philip and go into a reign that in many ways was very, sorry to say it, weird because it's a woman who doesn't marry. So the first principle of a king or a queen is to have children, right?
Yeah.
To perpetuate but she doesn't. And so she has to recourse to these kind of figures in the past that are strong women that don't necessarily just stay home and have babies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Boudica did, but by the time she's doing this, she's like doing it in her own, right? So that's why Boudica is used as a symbol. In the case of Urraca, it's very similar because really she's a precedent for Isabel the First of Castile. We said Isabel the First of Castile was the first queen of. That's not technically true. The first one was Urraca of Leon, and she ruled in the 11th century. She was the first woman really to rule in European history in her own right.
So she was alive, if I have my dates right before Empress Matilda. I feel like,
So 1066 is when right? That's
Yep.
the year of the
William the
conquest.
Conqueror. Yeah, yeah.
Right. I've always imagined William the Conqueror like this tall, probably was just short, but he was this tall, mighty dude that just arrived and was like, okay, new time for everyone.
We do have a new series or movie that's coming out about William
Let's
the
see who they
Conqueror.
casted.
Oh, I already know.
I
I,
hope it's Henry Cavill.
no. I think they cast, if I remember, the guy from Game of Thrones, Jamie Lannister. I think they cast that guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I like that.
I knew
He
you
did a
would.
good job in Jamie Lannister because you're like, I love him, I hate him, I love him, I hate him, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Ugh,
exactly.
and
I
you
could be
know?
mistaken. Maybe he's not William the Conqueror. Maybe he's one of the other main characters. We'll have to figure that out after the show.
Now he is in my brain, don't worry.
Okay.
So so reminding people just to put things in perspective, 1066 is the conquest William the Conqueror. Urraca is born in 1081. So 20 years after William conquers England, Urraca is born in Leon.
Oh, yeah. And Empress Matilda wasn't born until 1102-ish.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yes, she's a century later.
Okay.
So this is how early Urraca is, really. So
Yeah.
early. And in the case of Urraca, she is a difference, with Boudicca. Boudicca is the wife of the king that ends up dying. But Urraca is the daughter of the king. Alfonso the Sixth of Leon. All the kings in Spain have been named Alfonso, all of them. No, 13 at least.
I was going to say a lot.
It's like Louis in France or the Henrys in England,
Yeah.
Not as many in England Henrys, but definitely Louis. I think, 16 Louis, and we have 13 Alfonsos in Spain. So obviously it's a name the royalty in Spain liked.
Yeah.
But it's not because they liked it, it's because these early guys were named Alfonso. It's prestigious then later on to name your kid the same thing, continuity and all that. So he's already Alfonso the Sixth in the 11th century, at the beginning of the 11th century. And he is she's always the heiress because he doesn't have she has a brother, but he dies. It's very complex, Urraca's story. Okay, if I get it wrong, please be mindful that this is not my field of expertise. I've done my best. And they think because of this, a bit like Mary Tudor, because she was probably destined to rule in the sense that she was born and could succeed in a place that they would allow that if need be, that she was educated. And again, like Mary Tudor, when the time comes, I think that education empowers her to take action and to not let others take what she rightfully believes it's hers, right?
Yeah.
And so she marries a guy from Burgundy. I can't remember his name, Robert of Burgundy. So that's where more or less the connection with Burgundy starts. Remember, we talked about also Mary of Burgundy and all that. So that's how far back the relations between the Iberian Peninsula and Burgundy go on. He dies, and then her father says, okay, I'll give you the kingdom, but you have to marry Alfonso the First. I think it's the first of Aragon, the other kingdom on the other side. Another Alfonso, by the way.
Yeah, that confused me. By the
there.
way, when I was doing my research and I was like, wait, her dad was Alfonso the Sixth, but she married Alfonso the First. I was like,
right. Different kingdoms, but still early on. So these are the Christian kingdoms that are arising after in 711, the Iberian Peninsula was taken over by Muslim troops and started the Islamic kingdoms. So these are the Christian kingdoms that started in the north and started to take territory back, right? So they're fighting the Iberian Peninsula from that time until 1492 and the conquest of Granada by Isabel and Fernando, where Catherine of Aragon was. Who's that? They're fighting constantly to displace the other guys that were there. So there was a bunch of people there. That's what I'm saying. And they didn't get on. So to do this, to say, yes, I'll give you the kingdom to you, but you have to marry this guy. And in good fashion, Urraca's like, I don't think so, Dad. This is where Urraca, Boudicca, of Castile, and Elizabeth I are the same. And I think that's why they stand out. Because they said no to things that were extremely important. Yeah. And they were defiant at extremely important moments with a lot of tension. So they were brave because it could have ended up really badly for her. So she starts off as Countess of Galicia because her father is still ruling, obviously, and he gives her more power than that. But eventually he dies and she becomes queen. So she does end up marrying Alfonso I. And her reign is very troubled. But the problem with this is that we know this from the Chronicles, right? And the Chronicles say she was a tyrant because she ruled like women rule, right?
Of course.
I mean, I think it makes sense. They had never seen a woman rule before. She probably, like we said in the case of Juana of Castile, she probably, if she was going to rule, she probably spoke up and was like, no, you do this and you do that. I mean, I probably didn't take that well. So she's known as the fearless, right? And the Chronicles are always criticizing her. But Urraca didn't care because she went on and did it anyway.
Yeah, it's
pretty amazing.
amazing.
Then eventually, what is always said is that she gave the kingdom to her. She ruled for 16 years and she gave the kingdom to her son in peace. So it's like if a guy would have done that, he probably would have been known as the conqueror.
Yeah.
And the fearless. But in the case of, a woman, it's like, whoa, careful with this one,
Yeah.
Right. In that sense, Boudicca and Urraca are the same. Boudicca, we know, she didn't leave us, or Urraca, this is people describing them. This is time after, usually a long time after. So we can't be, these sources are reliable in the sense that they tell us that they lived in some of the events of their life, but they're very judgmental, right? In both cases.
Bias.
In the case of Boudicca, we know because of the Romans. And the description of Boudicca is amazing. She wore, according to the Romans, a multicolored tunic and a spear. And her voice was recognized everywhere. It was like, oh, I can relate to a voice that everybody can hear from miles away.
What do you say?
I don't have a multicolored tunic yet.
Yeah.
I don't have a spear yet, but now I know what I'm going to be in Halloween.
It's like it's when the chroniclers write about these people, it's like they're painting a picture for us on how they want us to perceive these women in history. That's really all that this is. Like, oh yeah, she had a voice that anybody could recognize. What does that say exactly? Like,
and she had a strong voice, like a manly voice, right? That's what they were saying. They said that about Mary I of England too. I think they were not used to women speaking up and saying what they thought and being assertive. So when someone came and was in charge, and it was a woman and said, "Hey, you go and fetch some water." Whoa, what did you? What is this woman? You know what I mean?
Maybe they were time travelers. I'm just going to say, maybe both of these women came from the future, and so they knew what was up.
I highly doubt it, Rebecca, if you think so. But the multicolored tunic, the spear, that, when I've read about descriptions about the Celts in Spain, they also would use spears and also, what are those called? Where you have that, it's for stones and you throw the stone.
Like a slingshot?
Yes, like a slingshot. So because in the north of Spain, it was mountainous, it was like, Roman, but they're also described as being scary looking, right? They would paint their faces. The Romans did things too. For example, the Romans wore red uniforms. You know why?
So
So the soldiers couldn't see their own blood when they were wounded, so they would continue the battle. Yeah, well,
I
it's a
didn't
way
know
to do
that.
it.
I did
You
not
know, if you
know
don't
that.
see it, you might not think in the adrenaline of the battle. You're like, but if you're wearing a white cloth, well, you know,
Right, right. So you got a big red blood stain.
oh, this is never gonna come out.
Somebody give me some club soda.
Wait until I get home. Anyway, so they are very similar in the sense that they became icons of and examples, presidents. And we've talked about this before in the show. When you don't have presidents in your life, there's things you think you can't really do. But if
Mhm.
there's an example of someone there, or things like that, so these women were, and again, Urraca was also famous because Isabel the First of Castile descends from her, in the sense that Urraca became Queen of Leon, Queen of Castile, and she declared herself Empress of Spain.
Oh.
She's like, it's going to be amazing. We're going to do a new title. It's called Empress of Spain. And actually, the name Spain, Hispania, was the name given by the Romans to the majority part of the Iberian Peninsula.
Hmm.
There was Hispania and Lusitania that later became Portugal.
Okay.
So what she's declaring is, I will conquer all these lands that have been taken from us because I am Empress of Spain, right? That's the same idea that Isabel rescues. And she finishes that job in 1492 when she conquers Granada with Fernando. And Catherine is right by her side. She's only 7 years old.
There it was. Took a half hour. You got Catherine of Aragon's name into the
There you go. So then she went to England, and when Mary the First was little, I'm sure she told her about Urraca. Of course, she told her about Isabel. We know
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Because it was her grandmother. But maybe she also taught, well, Holliston. So, and Catherine was involved in remember, she was the one to commission to translate a chronicle of the kings of England into Spanish and finish it
Oh,
with her own coronation before Henry VII died. Remember that?
I do.
I'm sure Boudicca was mentioned there. So Mary Tudor grew up listening to these stories. Remember, I told you that when the Scots invaded, Catherine told Henry a story about an English woman that had captured three Scots.
Yeah.
Catherine never would leave a chance go by with saying, that lady's cool. That one's really cool, Henry. And he's like, oh, no. She wants to bring another lady to court that knows how to do stuff.
There's enough of those.
Because her mother had done that too, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of this, not only Urraca, but then Urraca sets a precedent. There's other queens after that, Berenguela. There's a lot of strong women in medieval history of Leon, Castile, and all that because of this. You think about it, it's related to England because it's all the Atlantic facade. It all comes from this past that was a bit different with the Celts, and the women were slightly more valued than in other, because the Romans were like women, you know. So that's where it comes from, really, and that's where it's not that far away. It's England and it's the north of Spain, which are not that far away, really, where these women come from.
Yeah, really, they're not. This is just, I don't know, these two women are just fascinating to me because obviously we talk about women on this show all the time. And we've never really gone this far back in history to talk about women. And like Emma said, this is neither of our specialty. Obviously, she knows Spanish history way better than I do. I didn't even know about Boudicca really, other than she was an important figure in English history. And that's really why I wanted to do this episode too. When we talked about it, I was kind of excited thinking, no, this is good because this does give us a background for all future generations of women leaders.
Exactly. That's the way, watching a few documentaries on Urraca just to freshen up what I knew from college and all that. Because we study her when you study a degree in history as an example, and it caught my attention. One of the historians was saying, we talk about the glass ceiling, but Urraca was breaking the glass ceiling breaking the glass ceiling, breaking the walls, breaking everything.
Yeah.
So it's important that we tell stories like this to girls and to boys. Okay?
Yeah.
Because women can be leaders, because women are strong, and because women can, unite people against adversity too, just like the men can. So, I mean, these are privileged women always. We're talking about the privilege, right? But it's still a way to understand that, if the conditions are right, boys and girls are not that different. Yeah, we all can be leaders. We all can be it's just a matter, I think, more of personality more than gender.
Yeah.
It's just society has been the way it has been. I did want to bring up something that I thought you would love,
What's that?
linked to Urraca and something very famous. Have you ever heard of the Holy Grail?
The Disney Plus Hulu HBO Max bundle. Plans starting at just $16.99 a month.
No one will ever break us apart.
Catch Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts: The New Avengers on Disney Plus.
You can't escape the past.
Alien Earth on Hulu.
This ship collected monsters.
And Final Destination: Bloodlines on HBO Max.
Death is coming for our family.
The Disney Plus Hulu HBO Max bundle. Plans starting at $16.99 a month. All these and more streaming soon. Visit Disney Plus Hulu HBO Max bundle.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Espolón Tequila. Slow, sticky, snoozy. They call these the dog days of summer. But Espolón? They don't do boring. Welcome to the Marg Days. Espolón Tequila. 100% blue Weber agave, born to shake up your summer. Just add lime, agave, and a little attitude. Visit espolontequila.com. Espolón Tequila, 40% alcohol, volume 80 proof. Copyright 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink responsibly.
Obviously, yes.
You've watched all of Indiana Jones's movies?
Yeah, I was going to say, I really watched Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail.
Oh my goodness.
It's my favorite. Yes. Click, click,
Yes.
click, click,
King
click.
of the Who.
That's a whole
I didn't
episode.
like you. Oh no, let's not go down that rabbit hole, please.
Yes, no, we both will.
Oh, I love
Okay.
that movie. So
Me
anything
too.
that Monty Python does is just amazing. But
Yeah.
we know the Holy Grail, right?
Yes,
Yes. I didn't want to bring up Monty Python in case you weren't a fan, and we would just have to finish our friendship right now. But yes, the Holy Grail, we've all known what it is the supposedly, let's explain, maybe some people don't know,
Yeah.
is the Grail that Jesus used in the Last Supper, right?
Yeah.
With his, Well, that Holy Grail is in León, supposedly.
Really?
Yeah, in the Colegiata de San Isidro in León. And there's been a study on this Grail. There's not only this Grail, but there's also other treasures from Egypt and other things that are there, because this place is so old, right? It's from the time of we're talking about. They started studying where did these things come from, and they found out that this Grail that is now in León was in Jerusalem until the 11th century. From there, it went to Cairo in Egypt. And from there, went to the Iberian Peninsula in Denia in the southeast. And the emir, that Muslim king, let's call him king. They're not exactly emirs, it's emir, but like a king. That Muslim kingdom in the south, that emir gave that Grail to a king in Leon because he was the most powerful king as a present, right? Well, some Spanish historians tracked down that this very likely could have been at least historically, was known as the Grail of the Holy Grail, and it had been in Jerusalem until the 11th century.
Interesting.
So Leon was a center of the Christian world in many ways and respects, because it was this place where this what we call in Spanish reconquista, reconquering the Iberian Peninsula, really took off and with someone like Urraca. So that's why someone like the Emir was like, "Give them the Holy Grail, see if you calm them down."
See, it seems kind of crazy to me, though. Like, if you had the Holy Grail, why would you give it to anybody?
Meh, 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 meh. I have your Holy Grail, right? That's what I would do.
Yeah, like, I don't know. If I had it, I would
Right.
just hold on to it and put it in a
Right.
case.
What
And
if the king says, if you don't give me, or if, or if you give it and say, hey, I give you this and we sign a treaty and you leave me alone for 30 years? Because to me, that grail doesn't say anything,
oh, sure.
and to you, it means everything, right? Or is a bride, like we said, that king that died, and Boudicca's husband, Prosciuttica's favorite,
I don't know.
was probably bribed to leave his. So I mean, there's a lot of corruption. The corruption is not something new either,
Right.
and people try to stay in power in any way they can. So I mean, was this the grail with the cup that Jesus? I don't know, but historically, it was known as that. I mean, there's another 200 stories about the Holy Grail and where it is, but there's a very solid one, and at least from the 11th century had been they know it was in Jerusalem, and then it moved to Cairo, and then to Denia, and then this is how connected the Mediterranean is too, right? We think about now because politically it's changed so much, and now the north of Africa is a very different place to the south of Europe, and politically it
Hmm.
was all part of the same. These were all part of the Roman Empire. And then, for example, we always tend to forget that Fernando of Aragon was king of Naples, was king of Sicily. And they were, once they had finished the conquista of the peninsula, they were doing incursions in the north of Africa too. I think it's because they have that idea again. Oh, we're going to be bigger than the Romans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, little Holy Grail story there for you.
I love that. Now I want to go
Leon
watch.
is one of my favorite cities in Spain, founded by the Romans. Leon is the word for lion in Spanish for the animal lion, but
Hmm.
it doesn't come from lion. That's why their symbol is a lion, but it doesn't come from that. It was founded by the Romans. It was a Roman legions would serve for 20 years, and then when after 20 years and you hadn't died, they would grant you just a place to start and sometimes because it was a lot of dudes, because it was
Hmm.
whole battalions, they would give them a land and they would start a city, and that's how the city of Leon started. Legio, I think it was Legio Septima, the legion, the Roman legion founded that. One of my favorite cities, one of the most beautiful cathedrals in Spain, with one of the most beautiful stained glass. One of the only few Antoni Gaudí buildings outside of Catalonia. Have you ever heard of Antoni Gaudí?
No.
Very famous architect from the 19th century who designed the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Very famous. I'll have to show you. You when you see the images of this cathedral, you know who I'm talking about. Sometimes the name doesn't ring a bell.
Sure.
So it's a very interesting city, and the most important thing, it's very cool to go around Leon because you always have a little drink. They would serve you some food, some free food. It's just a very walkable city. There's always stuff going on. Very nice city. I
You
highly recommend it.
you always like you are the ambassador for Spain.
Not yet.
You should be because I can't, you guys, I can't tell you enough how many times I'm talking to her and she's like, you would love it here. You know, the food is great and the
I
drink
was
is
talking about
great.
food,
And
right?
but that's the best part, like when you go traveling, right? Is trying the different food and immersing yourself in the culture. And that's part of traveling.
I am very happy to say that I'm very proud of Spanish cuisine. It's superb, and Leon is well known for it, right? Also, the region of Leon is very beautiful. The whole region too, very culturally is well. We're talking about the 11th century. Imagine this Colegiato de San Isidro has frescoes from the, I don't know if it was the 8th century or something like that. It's And it's not very far from Galicia, Santiago de Compostela, where the patron Saint James is buried. You know, that pilgrimage that we talked about.
Yeah.
So these are places that, you know, Isabel and Fernando would have visited a lot of the times because they were symbolic historical places already in the 15th century.
Yeah.
This is how old the history of Spain really is.
You can't.
I know that for an American has to blow your mind.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like us Americans over here, we crave ancient history, but you know, we can only go back so far here in America. I mean, unless we're gonna look at obviously the Native American history, which is gonna go back a lot farther.
Be, you know, more celebrated because it's very cool too. But yes, in terms of, you know, the heritage of the European people that the descendants of Europeans that live in America, it's always like funny. It's like a very old building, and it's like from the 19th century. And you're like, okay,
it's not that old.
Urraca would be like, I don't know if that's really old.
Right. You know, well, if you think of it too, like my paternal side of the family did not come to the United States until 1865.
Right.
I mean,
well, that's when about Minnesota was founded, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometime
I mean, I
after.
went to see the first house in Minneapolis, staring to Minnehaha Falls, and I think it was built in something like 1854 or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah. For someone who's grown up in a country that is so old, you know, I mean, I'm sure Greek people are like, hold my beer, right? But you know what? Oh, Egyptians are like, hold. Well, they don't drink beer. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's why we appreciate history so much as Americans. And that's why most of my listeners are from America, because we are so desperate to just be connected to something that is so much older than us and something that we can learn from.
Yeah. Because I'm an American now, I can say this because I'm talking about my folk. Guys, not everybody's grandparents came in the Mayflower, okay?
That is so true. Yes.
I mean, you don't know how many people I've met that they were like, oh, yes, my family came in the Mayflower. I was like, okay. Our boat was crowded.
There was like 3,000 people on that boat.
I know. I'm like, wow, that must have been a hell of a boat.
I think people so desperately want a connection to an important piece of history.
Well, it's like people who say I descend from Anne Boleyn, or I descend from in Spain. It's the same, eh? It's the same thing. Or the people in the north of Spain are like, oh well, the reconquering Spain started in the north, or you know, there's always like that kind of like pride of like, well, as long as it's not to undermine others, having pride of your heritage, but know your heritage. That's what I'm saying. Probably your great grandparents didn't come in the Mayflower. That's what I'm saying.
Mine definitely did not.
Yes, no, mine not for sure.
But cool fun fact: my ancestors came on a ship that was called the New York.
Oh, and how do you know that?
Because I'm a genealogist.
Oh, that's right.
Because I dug deep into the records and found that, yeah, I was able to find their ship manifest.
That's why Rebecca's the only American that doesn't say that her family came in the Mayflower. She actually did the work and looked for it.
I tell people this all the time, too, when it comes to Ancestry.com. I love Ancestry.com. I've always used it, but I have fallen victim to incorrect family trees. You know, like when you use Ancestry, it gives you the little leaf suggestion to add things to your tree. I learned the hard way. You just don't start adding stuff without looking at it first. Like you have to do your own research too. You add it and then check out the sources.
This Nigerian prince is not from my family, okay?
Right, exactly. This doesn't quite. But that's how I found out when I thought I was a descendant of Margaret Tudor because of this, then I went back and started looking at the connections and realized, oh, I am definitely not related to Margaret Tudor. Somebody did the wrong research and I just connected it and believed it to be true.
You know what I like to say to people who descend from William the Conqueror or Anne Boleyn or Margaret Tudor?
Oh,
That's
no.
assuming everybody was telling the truth. That's a lot of assumptions because, things happen.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm a
Imagine,
descendant.
remember the time when there wasn't, now I'm going to do my old lady segue. Remember the time where there was no internet? Well, the time when there was no internet, not social media and that, and you used to do stuff, nobody would know about it.
Yeah.
Like, not now that you're recorded everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, imagine in the 16th century or the 17th century or the 18th century. Yeah. You had to say, sure, yeah, this is your son. Yes, sure.
yeah, sure. Speaking of transmitting information and the internet, this is just a weird side note that this morning I was reading an article that said AOL, everybody knows AOL, right? Mm-hmm. AOL is going to be ceasing their dial-up connection as of September 30th. Did you even know it still works?
No. I do have the little music in my brain of when the internet used to connect. Well, music, the ding, 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 ding. You remember that? I can hear it in my brain.
Yeah.
And I can also hear sometimes somebody saying, "Are you on the phone?" Because you could be on the phone or on the internet, people.
Right, not both at the same time.
No, now we sound like Boudicca. So, are you going to dress up as Boudicca this? I think you're more of a Boudicca than me.
Do you?
I envision her with long, flowy hair, yes.
And probably red hair too, right?
Yeah, I do envision her. So you need a colored tunic and a spear.
Oh,
now you have your outfit for the Renaissance Festival.
Oh,
you're like, the Renaissance wasn't in Roman times? What do you mean?
I haven't forgotten that I have to go to the Renaissance Festival with you.
I'm just reminding you.
By the way, ever since we talked about it, everybody is just so shocked that I have never been to a Renaissance fair. They're like,
thank you, people.
They're like, how have you never been? I was like, it's
incoherent. It's incoherent. Thank you. To the biggest Renaissance festival in the USA.
Is it really?
Somebody's going to correct me. There's going to be a bigger one in Texas because we know that. Because everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
But I think it's the largest one. There's a whole city built for it.
Did you know? Here's another weird. Did you know that Penn and Teller, the famous magicians guys, got their start at the Minnesota Renaissance Fair?
There you go. There's a big chance.
So
maybe we should tell them we can do a live show or something. Here, if somebody from the Renaissance Festival is listening to us, which I'm sure they,
obviously, they're
call us. And Henry Cavill, you should call us too, because we need to cast you for this new movie.
Henry Cavill as William the Conqueror?
Yes.
With a beard?
I know.
Yeah, a nice beard.
I think to me, I don't know why William the Conqueror is blonde. Probably wasn't, but just in my head.
Does it really matter? Anne Boleyn, is portrayed with blue eyes all the time, and she didn't have blue eyes. Catherine of Aragon is portrayed with dark hair. Obviously, she didn't have dark hair.
Don't get me started on how Catherine of Aragon is portrayed.
There are some things we have to overlook when we're watching historical film and TV.
Okay.
We can't have everything. I mean, as much as we want it. If you can have Henry Cavill, is that not enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That would be enough.
Yeah, that would be.
He's going to hate me. He's going to be like, that woman. He's going to just file a restraining order.
I was going to say, pretty soon they're going to be like, cease and desist talking about Henry Cavill on your show, please. He's embarrassed. Okay.
What an embarrassing woman.
So, do we have anything left about Boudicca and Urraca that you would like?
I'm sure there's tons of stuff, but that's where our listeners could come in and let us know very cool facts that we haven't, because I was ready to not cover everything because this is not my realm of expertise.
Yeah.
I invite people to school us on this.
Yes. Give us some book suggestions or something because we didn't
And
have time to
also,
read that much.
because these are women, just like the women in the Bible, for example, are examples to Mary, Catherine, all that. We have to learn more about these women because
Yeah.
these women are thinking of these women when they're doing the things they're doing, right? Like
Yeah.
you have your when your examples in life of like people you admire, right? Like
Yeah.
you, Rebecca, I admire you.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh. I feel like I have to say I admire you too.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Let's just tap each other in the back. Okay, I think we finished the script, right?
Yeah. I Thursday episodes are always my favorite, and I always say no offense to anybody else, but everybody knows Thursday episodes with Dr. Emma, we just get to have fun and be ourselves and tell history like we'd want to be taught it, right?
We agree on everything. I think they're the best too.
This episode is brought to you by Wayfair. Podcasts follow us everywhere, whether you're cooking in the kitchen, chilling in the living room, or pretending to fold laundry in the bedroom. And with Wayfair, every one of those rooms can tell a story of its own. Their curated collections of furniture styles and prices make Wayfair the trusted destination to turn your home into your happy place. Shop everything home at wayfair.com with free and easy delivery straight to your door.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
People are gonna be like, I can't stand that woman. Yeah. All she does is praise herself.
That's all she does. Well, we've already scheduled the next episode, which will be our interview episode, right? Because we do it every fourth episode is an interview episode. And I don't know, should we keep this one secret for now?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you'll like it. Honestly, you guys, like, I think this will
unexpected, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's going to be a familiar guest that's been on the show.
Unexpected topic.
Yeah. Ooh, make sure you check us out next Thursday too.
Maybe people should try and guess.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so first, guess who the guest is.
We just need a larger list of themes. So just guess, guys. Who should we invite and what topic should we cover?
I feel like people have been really good about recommending.
People have been amazing. And shout out to everyone who sends all the love, and likes it and says that it's like being with friends. It is being with friends, by the way. Thank you guys. I feel connected to you guys when you comment things. When you make such nice comments, you really make my day.
Yeah,
you really do.
Well,
then Rebecca comes and ruins it somehow. But no, I'm only kidding.
What? I was like, what do? I say things like, you're not really that tan.
Oh, you brought that up finally. I was so proud of myself because, I took, I've been to the beach a couple of times in Santander. And I came and I said, what do you think of my tan? And she was like, she didn't even pretend with her tan. She thinks, she looks down on us, the people who are not as tan. Anyway,
like I said earlier, when you start out translucent, it takes a while to get to this. That goes for both of us, not just you.
My Irish ancestors are probably saying true.
I am part Irish too. I was like less than 1% Irish.
Everybody's 1% Irish. Come on.
Right.
I don't think there's ever been a DNA test. Oh, yeah, only my friend who's 100% Spanish. She took a DNA test. She'd lost her money because they were like, not 100% Spanish.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really amazing. Mine's just like, I'm a mutt. I got a little bit of
I
everything.
think the only other person that I've heard that is 100% something, and he said, I've never heard of another person who's 100% something, is Conan O'Brien, who said he's 100% Irish.
Oh,
Yeah,
but do you believe him?
I do. I believe everything Conan O'Brien says. I wish he would come, Conan O'Brien.
Oh
If
my.
you're listening to this show, you must come to pass.
I
love the guy. You don't love Conan O'Brien?
Oh, I do. I really do love him. I highly doubt he's watching this episode right now, but maybe he is.
Oh, why not? Maybe he is.
Maybe our friend Alejandro can introduce us since he knows him.
Maybe Alejandro, please come on.
And for those who are listening and don't know, like Conan did a show where he was at the Prado with Alejandro.
Conan O'Brien has a traveling show because he's the smartest guy on earth. And he has a traveling show where he's just himself and funny. And so he did a one in Spain with what's the guy's name? Javier Bardem. And they went into the Prado. It was really funny. You guys should check it out. Conan, what's the name of the show?
Don't remember.
Well, you can put it in the show notes because it's really funny and you should say it. Alejandro's a good actor, by the way. And I'm not going to give away what he did, but what he did is really, really funny. Really funny. So go and check that out. And then you can see a lot because they go around the Retiro Park in Madrid too. So you get a glimpse of Madrid and it's just Conan being funny. You know?
Yeah. And if you're friends with Conan on social media, I don't even know if he has social media. Whoa. But if you are friends with him, make sure to send him a message. Tell him about Dr. Emma and me.
Yes, exactly. Please.
Just start bombarding him. We'll see if we can get a cease and desist from Conan too.
Yes. We're just going to collect them.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Emma, it has been such a joy chatting with you today again about Boudicca and Urraca. And I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You've come very far, Rebecca. You wouldn't even dare say that 6 months ago. And look at you now. Urraca this, Urraca that. I love it. Good job.
Thank you.
Dr. Emma and Me is a smart, spirited, and refreshingly candid podcast where history isn't just told, it's lived. Catch them every Thursday on the Tudors Dynasty and Beyond podcast. And if you love it, tell your friends. History's better when it's shared.